In this video, I'm going to be going through a bunch of different social media platforms and showing you which are the best and worst to earn money from. And the only reason I feel confident talking about this topic is because I've made a lot of money from each of these social media platforms. For example, this right here called Fly Juggler is my YouTube channel, and you can see just this month it's already made around $2,700. I'll have my editor put it on screen here, but TikTok also made me another $2,000 this month. Snapchat has made me money as well, so I'm going to be ranking all these platforms and how much money you could make from them, with S being super and F being fail. For a social media platform to make it into S tier, it needs to be able to 1. Drive consistent viewership, 2. Offers a strong ad revenue program, and 3. Allows you to build a loyal audience which you can use to sell products and services. At the end, I'll share my best holistic strategy for posting on all platforms. Let's get right into it. So the first platform that we're going to look at is Instagram. Now, my personal Instagram has 456,000 followers, and it's a pretty easy platform to get views on. If you have a video that's pretty viral, Instagram's algorithm will see that and usually push your video out. And the other thing I like about Instagram a lot is once you start building an audience, you get pretty consistent views on your video. If I go to the same channel but on TikTok, you can see that when my videos don't perform, they typically will get less than 2,000 views, sometimes even less than 1,000 views. But on Instagram, even my lowest performing videos are still getting like 50,000 views at minimum. So once you build a following, you actually get views consistently from the people who follow you. All of this is great, and I think would count this putting it into S tier, but they don't really have a built-in ad revenue program. They do have a technical invite-only program to make money from, which I technically got into, but now it's only for carousel and photo posts, so I'm not making any money from Instagram ad revenue. And don't get me wrong, when it comes to driving people to a product or service with short-form content, I think Instagram is the top tier when it comes to that. But just because of the fact that it has no ad revenue program and it means you can't make money from the views that you get, going crazy viral on here without connecting it to a product or service isn't going to make you that much money. So instead of getting S tier, I'm going to knock it down into A tier. It's really, really, really good for building a personal brand. It's not the best for just earning off of ad revenue. Next, I'm going to go with TikTok, which I think is basically the flipped version of Instagram, which also puts it into A tier. Here's my reasoning. TikTok has the ability for any random video that you post to pop off and go absolutely viral. I have multiple videos on TikTok that have cracked 10 million views and many that have cracked over 1 million views. And it's just because TikTok has a good randomness factor that allows you to post videos and actually go viral with them. So you can post today and get 1 million views, and you don't need a following. That's great. The downside is that this means that a lot of your videos, unless they go super viral, they will basically just flop. Like, even if you have 300,000 followers, your videos can get under 1,000 views if they don't have high retention and the algorithm doesn't pick up on them. So that's a huge downside, but they're redeemed a lot by their ad revenue program. To get into TikTok's ad revenue program, you just need 10,000 followers, which is kind of hard to get at first, but once you get it, you can make like 50 cents to $1 for every 1,000 views that you get, which is insane. Because on YouTube, long form videos, which are way harder to get views on, you might get a $2 to $3 RPM. But on TikTok, you could get a 50 cent to a $1 RPM, which means that for you to make more money on TikTok than on YouTube, you basically just need to get like 3 times the amount of views. Which, if you've ever tried to post on YouTube long form, you know that getting views on there is way harder than getting views on TikTok. I personally made $2,000 on TikTok in the month of November and closer to like $3,500 in the month of October. So you can make a lot of money from this, and you don't even need an insane personal brand or have products or anything. Just by doing videos over a minute and getting views on them, you'll be able to make a lot of money, which is why it goes into A tier. Then finally, we have YouTube Shorts, which, believe it or not, is going to go into A tier as well because it's kind of a middle ground between TikTok and Instagram. So starting with getting views on YouTube Shorts, I think it's actually harder at first to get views with YouTube Shorts, but what's nice about it is that your video will keep getting views days and days after it's posted. I mean, this video that I posted 15 days ago still is getting 100,000 views a day, which means that every day I'm making an extra like $20 from a video that I posted 15 days ago. That doesn't really exist in the same way on TikTok. But secondly, their ad revenue is one of the best. The videos do not need to be over 1 minute long. The ad revenue is much more stable. You can see here that I get around 25 cents per 1,000 engaged views that I get on YouTube, which means that it's not a guessing game in the same way that it can be on TikTok. You just know how much you're going to make. They don't have to be over a minute long. But the only downside with YouTube is that it is a little bit hard to get into their ad revenue program because you need at least 10 million views in the past 90 days, which is a lot and kind of hard to get. So it's a great platform. I'd highly recommend building it. But again, as I've seen, Instagram is still the best platform when it comes to trying to build a personal brand and convert people to a product or a service. So YouTube can still work for that. You can still put a link in your bio. I just think it's not quite as good as Instagram. And so far, everything I've mentioned here has benefits and drawbacks. And I'm about to get into some more gatekept platforms like Snapchat and Facebook. So I'd actually highly recommend, instead of like trying to pick which one you should post on, you should actually just post to every single platform, which is exactly what Repurpose allows you to do. I'll leave the link to this in the description. It's 100% free to start. What Repurpose basically allows you to do is set up automations between all your social media platforms. So you can see here on my channels, I just manually post to Instagram, and I have Repurpose set up automations to every single other platform, which includes TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, which I'm about to get into, Pinterest, X, and since we upload from Instagram, it automatically also uploads to Facebook and Threads. And all you have to do is basically just connect your social media accounts, say repurpose future content, which means it's going to repurpose all the new content, choose the accounts you want it to be repurposing on, and then click create workflow. I'm not going to do it since I already have one set up. But what I think is really cool about this as well is you can also set it to automatically repost not only the new content that you record, but also repurpose old content that you've already made. So if I click this, it would start reposting content that I made from my Instagram. So for example, let's say I've never posted a video to Snapchat before, but I want to get all my old content from Instagram up on Snapchat. You can repurpose based on a content schedule and then start posting all of your content, both future and existing, to Snapchat from, let's say, Instagram. And if you're like me and you have 1,000 videos on your Instagram, you can just set a schedule for it to post like 5 times a day, and it's mainly going to be drawing from all the old 1,000 video pool of videos that you already have. So highly recommend that. And that brings me to my next one, which I would recommend using Repurpose to post on, is Snapchat. Now, most people don't know about Snapchat and they don't even know you can make money from it, but you can, and I'm going to put it into B tier. Now, Snapchat is a very gatekept platform, but there's actually 2 ways to make money on it. One is from stories, which you'll see right here. If you scroll on this, it has like a bunch of kind of stories like this. But another one is if you scroll one more to the right, you have something called Snapchat Spotlights, which is basically Snapchat's own version of TikTok. I highly recommend that using Repurpose, you start auto-scheduling all of your videos to Snapchat Spotlights because it allows you to post videos on here, gain followers, and grow, and then you can eventually post on stories, which is where most of the monetization comes in. The way their monetization works is through something called Snapchat Crystals, where basically each crystal is worth 10 cents. So you can see here on the top, I have 5,397 crystals, which I can cash out, and that equates to $539.70. If we scroll down for each day, we can see how many crystals I'm actually earning. So for the videos I posted on November 18th, I would earn 2,230 crystals, which equates to $223. That's pretty good. As I continue going, this would be $16, $62, $77, $113, and this is just from what I'm posting on Snapchat stories. So the problem is getting monetized is a whole ordeal, but once you do get monetized, you can make a lot of money with very little effort because it's kind of just posting the same stuff. But even though Snapchat can make you a lot of money, it doesn't really bring you closer to an audience that makes it easier to sell products or services to. And Snapchat is just very hard to get into the ad revenue program, so for that reason, I'd say it goes into B tier. Next, I wanted to touch on Facebook, which is kind of a weird wild card. I'm going to put it into B tier, but a lot of people don't know that you can actually make money from Facebook as well. This is my Facebook right here, and I have 72,000 followers. And I've also done separate videos just explaining Facebook monetization. But basically, just like Snapchat, they kind of have a program where it's not like once you hit a certain view threshold, you automatically get in. It's just a program where you apply to, and if you get in, you can just make a lot of money from the views that you get. If you haven't gotten in yet, then you won't make that much money from what you're doing. So all you have to do, I'll show you on my phone, is when you go to your Facebook page, you click on Professional Dashboard, you go under Monetization right here, you scroll down, and then you can see something called Content Monetization, which is invite only. Currently, I haven't been accepted yet, and I'm on the wait list, so I'm just kind of waiting to get accepted. But I do know a lot of people who are earning a decent amount of money from Facebook's monetization program. So I think Facebook can also be a really good way to make money. Again, you do have to get monetized on here for you to be able to make anything, but once you do, you can make a lot from just the views that you get. So that's why I'm putting Facebook in B tier. And now I want to go to the final one, which I'm actually going to put in S tier, which is YouTube long form. Now, YouTube long form is basically like any of these other social media platforms on steroids. If you could only master one of these skills, mastering YouTube long form would be by far the best one that you can do. You make more money on ads per 1,000 views, you can get multiple ads on each video if your videos are long enough, and it builds the truest connection between you and an audience, which means that it becomes way, way, way easier to sell products and services. The thing is, it's a lot harder than any of these, so it's kind of like a high effort but high return thing if you can actually get good at it. If I had to say my holistic strategy, it would be to start with short form platforms that you can make quick money from and get quick feedback from. But as soon as you start getting more and more comfortable on camera, trying to pivot to YouTube long form is genuinely one of the best moves when it comes to building a personal brand and monetizing through social media. So with that being said, that wraps it up for this video of what the best social media platforms are. Again, I'd highly recommend you just post on everything, which is why I use repurpose.io to do that for me automatically. The link to that is in the description. And again, if you actually got some good value out of this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on more social media videos coming out from us soon. As always, thank you guys all so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video, and peace.